everyone, welcome back. I am now joined by Josh and Michael from Twisted Pixel, the guys who made the Maw and Explosion Man.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Yeah, no, thanks for being here. A couple of great games, and now you have Comic Jumper, The Adventures of Captain Smiley.
Captain Smiley, yeah, that's kind of our new franchise hero we're trying to go with now. So Captain Smiley is a failed comic book character who had his own comic book, and readership totally declines, I think, because people think he really sucks. So Captain Smiley needs a new gig, and in our new game, Twisted Pixel offers to help him out. So Captain Smiley's new job is to jump into other people's comic books when they need help. And the focus we're going for with this game is we've done 4 completely different art styles.
Oh, cool.
So we have like a modern style, which is more like the Image comics of the early 90s, that type of thing. Then we have a fantasy style that is like the Frank Frazetta hand-drawn, painted comics of the 70s. We have the Silver Age, which is like Jack Kirby, and then we have manga, which is completely black and white. And it's either going to be really awesome or really stupid, because we try to make 4 completely different art styles, so we don't share art assets or anything.
Yeah.
And I think it sounded really awesome when we were like talking about the game, like, guys, we can do it. And as we've been going along, we're just like, okay, never again.
Well, it sounds pretty awesome. Let's see it in action and see how it actually plays.
The first comic we're going to jump into here is the modern style.
Okay.
So this is The Adventures of Captain Smiley. This is actually Smiley's comic.
Okay.
And it's kind of the adventures of him and his partner named Star. I'm wearing my shirt with Star on it. Star is Smiley's sidekick, who is basically not very helpful. He doesn't do much of anything, another badmouth everything Smiley does. So one of the things Star really wants to do is Smiley's arch nemesis is a character named Brad, who we'll see here in a minute or two. And Brad is this, it's totally menacing, like buff, beach bum type of guy who builds his own hot girl robots to hang out with him. And Star thinks Brad is like so awesome. So Star wants to be on Brad's chest instead of Captain Smiley's chest. So this section right here in the demo, we've divided up the gameplay a lot. So this is a melee section where it's just simple button presses for melee, and dudes fly through windows and bases and things like that. And once we get to this section of the gameplay, you meet some of the villains. One of the villains is Dr. Winklemeyer, then there's Brad. And this section of gameplay is familiar with people who like Contra and Gunstar Heroes.
Yeah, like side-scrolling action.
Yeah, it becomes like a dual analog stick shooter. So you can, shoot everywhere. It's rapid fire. Kind of emulates, like I said, Gunstar Heroes, but personality and animation-wise, we were like big fans of Earthworm Jim and some of those old like character-based games. So we're really trying to get that through. The other thing we're doing a lot of is audio. We're doing a lot of writing and voice acting in the game. So as Smiley goes through the levels, you'll hear him talk with Star quite a bit. So we're trying to push that as well.
So how did this idea start? You said you guys were discussing it and just...
Yeah, a lot of the ideas in our studio just come from all of us getting together. We're all really good friends, and we just toss out stuff. The character of Captain Smiley is actually something I had when I was around in 7th grade. I would be bored in study hall, and I came up with this character. And the idea was that he would jump into other comic books and help them out. So I also love to draw Superman and stuff like that. I was really terrible.
It's an idea that's a long time.
It's a long time. When we first started talking about Twisted Pixel, this was one of the first ideas we talked about, but it was just too ambitious at the time. But after we did Explosion Man and Maw, and we got more experience working with each other and within certain budgets, we're like, okay, well maybe we can do this one now. We took the chance to do it. And, everyone in the office is, for the most part, a big fan of games like Contra, those old side scrollers. So we figured we'd take a chance and do that. It's big shoes to fill, though, with companies like Treasure or Konami or whoever you're dealing with. They're masters at like 2D side-scrolling shooting games. So we really tried to do a good job of finding a balance between like the hardcore gamer and then the casual gamer who doesn't really play a lot of shooters. So hopefully we've kind of got somewhere in that balance. It's a hard thing to do.
So we have a question from Aviad from Israel. He's asking if any specifics about the gameplay mechanics and the different art style. And he says, P.S. Explosion Man rules.
Awesome. So one of the things we're trying to do is the game isn't strictly just 2D gameplay like this. There are areas where the game goes more like, we're big Treasure fans, so if people are familiar with Sin and Punishment, we actually have a third-person camera, and it goes into sin and punishment mode where Smiley's on rails, and you can move left and right, but there's a cursor, and you can kind of control his gun cursor around the screen. We have some vehicle sections like Contra, where some really ridiculous, like in manga, you ride a pony who can fly. So we have some weird stuff like that. One of the other things I should mention too is, as Smiley does better in the comics, he can earn more money. And the more money he earns for doing a good job, he can take that back to his base. It's kind of like his bat cave. And he can purchase upgrades, and he can purchase bonus things like concept art. One of the bonuses we're giving away to people who own Splosion Man, is we made 2 new Splosion Man levels. We have a single player level and a multiplayer level that are brand new.
Okay.
And you get them for free in the game. So we wanted to try to give people something really cool this time. So along with avatar items and our theme and gamer picks, you also get that.
Okay. And should we jump ahead and see, like, kind of get a taste of another level?
Yeah, we can jump into fantasy actually real quick and show you a little bit of that.
Okay. And what made you decide on these specific art styles?
Yeah, well, there's so many awesome comic genres. It was hard to pick. And really what it came down to is which art styles would be the most different from each other. So the fantasy style, to be quite honest, I don't know like how huge, like when you think of comic books, I don't know if you think of like Conan immediately or something like that, but that was art style with the painted style, just seems so different from everything else, and hopefully you can immediately kind of tell a difference. Star is more of like a necklace idol around Smiley's neck, and there's much more detail in Smiley's model now and in the environment. So that was really the defining factor of it. And then there's something like the Silver Age, which just seems like a staple of comic books, and it would be a shame to not, do something with that. One of the other things we'll be able to show you here too in a second is we try to break the fourth wall a lot. Twisted Pixel as a team actually helps Captain Smiley out a lot. So there are instances where Captain Smiley can call on Twisted Pixel to help him out if he's like in a jam or something like that. Kind of like old Streets of Rage games where you could have people come in. So when there's a lot of people on screen, Smiley can call Twisted Pixel to come help him. And one of our co-founders and our CTO, Frank Wilson, he comes in and helps you out. He makes his cameo here.
Oh, nice.
And he takes care of all the enemies that are on screen.
Can you do that?
You can earn them by doing really well throughout the levels, and we'll give them to you as a reward. Or if you have enough money, you can go to your base and you can purchase them to help you out. So yeah, Frank comes in and helps you out. So thanks, Frank. That was pretty awesome.
Are there any other kind of like appearances like that?
We have a lot of weird appearances. Yeah, one of the things we haven't really shown in the demo, just because it's not really something that's immediately you can recognize or whatever, is Smiley's base. Where Twisted Pixel helps him out, and you can see the Twisted Pixel guys in video form in the base, walking around giving Smiley advice and stuff like that. So we've really tried to, I think people are going to think we're really facetious or whatever, like we love ourselves or whatever. But it was something fun, and I think as a small independent developer, that's a luxury you can afford. You can just do random things and see how people respond. I think when you do a game that's based on humor as much as we have with Comic Jumper, some people are going to really like it, and I think there's going to be a group of people who probably really hate it. They won't get the humor or whatever, but I'd rather people just hate it with a passion than totally forget about it. So
that's true.
I think the same thing with Splosion Man. Some people love Splosion Man, other people are like, that's the worst thing I've ever played, I hate that character. What are you going to do?
I have a question here from some guys asking if you guys are going to make Splosion Man 2.
Yeah, I think our thing with sequels is, we love Splosion Man, and a lot of people really love Splosion Man. And we've talked internally about another Splosion Man, but I think we wouldn't do it unless we could really bring something new to it. I think just doing a bunch of new levels and whatever isn't enough. I think we'd want to redefine the gameplay mechanic or really bring forth something that would be a big difference. And we have so much new IP that we'd like to bring out. I think that's something we might wait on just a little bit.
We always try to give away something new with each game. So the Maw was the first game to do a premium dashboard theme, and then Splosion Man was the first to do avatar rewards. And so with Comic Jumper, we want to be the first to give away actual entire DLC. So you'll be able to get Splosion Man DLC as an unlockable in Comic Jumper.
So that's our thank you to the Splosion Man fans who hopefully buy Comic Jumper.
Okay, cool. And you guys said you had one more level to check out real quick.
We'll show you guys, this is the Silver Age. This is more of the Jack Kirby style, late 50s, early 60s Marvel used Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby was an amazing artist, and we tried to emulate kind of his art style. And this is also the introduction of, in the 60s, there was a comics commission who, kind of like the ESRB now or whatever, really looked over comic books. So we have our version of the comics commission. So anytime Smiley does something out of line, or if there's a swear word or something, Star gets fined quite a bit in the Silver Age comics for his bad language, basically.
Cool. Well, we're gonna have to start wrapping up. So
Yeah.
when's the game coming out, and what platform?
It's for Xbox Live Arcade exclusively, and we're looking at hopefully sometime this year for sure. So hopefully really soon.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by.
Good time. Thanks
Yeah,
again.
looks great. All right. So next up, we probably have a tour of something. So let's check it out.